वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। हरि ओम। Yes, can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? Yes, please. Anybody? If you can form the link so we can quickly go ahead. Yes, ji. Anything you recollect what we saw last on Friday? Yes, ji. Anybody? I cannot proceed without the link. There's a nice Sanskrit phrase, Maunam Sarvartha Sadhanam, but I think everywhere it is not necessary. Yes, please. Someone has to form the link so we can go ahead. Yes, ji. Hari Om. Anything, if you can recollect. Yes? Anybody? I hope I'm not taking it in a very bad manner, that nobody feels like recollecting what I had covered so far. All right, Renuji. Yes, please. Thank you.
It is not that bad, Bhaiya. It is because I cannot narrate everything.
Anything, Ji, anything you remember, because that
Yes,
link has to be formed to go ahead. Yeah.
yes. Arjuna was terrified seeing the Vishwaswarupa of his friend Krishna, and so
Ji.
he pleaded him that you please come back to your own original form so that I can become calm again. So, listening to his request, Krishna again came back to his own original form. And then he said that one who adores me and who comes to me alone, who prays to me, I help them. This was the last thing, that he who works for me alone, who makes me his goal, who lovingly surrenders himself to me, and who is unattached, who bears no ill will, he enters my being, O Arjuna. That was the last thing. So
Yeah.
after this, we'll start
Yes, Ji.
Bhakti Yoga.
Yes, Ji, Renuji. Thank you very much. Hari Om. Namaste, Suresh Ji. Thank you, sir. So we are going to start. What is the 12th Adhyay? If we see, interestingly, in the 11th Adhyay, Krishna, as he was in the Vishwarupa, he continued the same way. He said, Arjuna, you need not be afraid. You need not be afraid of what is on the outside. Instead, if he was conscious, if he was able to understand, if he was free from all of these attachments, he would not have to have that fear. But Arjuna has still not reached that stage, meaning something is lacking in Arjuna. So after the darshana, he is going to now learn about what is bhakti, the way of bhakti yoga. Another interesting aspect when Krishna told that nimitta matra bhava savya sachin. You become the nimitta of what? Of the divine will. And one of the important conditions was mentioned. If you see in the last adhyaya also, this nirvaira or adveshti will come in this adhyaya also. So without hatred, if there is hatred in your heart, divine cannot be present inside. Meaning the divine will. Divine is always present inside, but the divine will cannot manifest. You cannot become an instrument of God having hate. Whose instrument do you become then if you have hate in your heart? Anybody? You become an instrument of?
The evil's instrument.
Yes, yes, we become the instrument of hate, not of the divine, not what is right. And this is very important, especially in Arjuna's case. If you see, Arjuna is going, he is going towards a battle which is going to involve him to be killing people. And yet he should not have hatred. Even at that moment, Krishna is telling, even as the Vishwarupa, even after the Chaturbhuja Rupa, he says, no, not by yajna, not by dana, not by tapa. It is not by all these that you will understand me. Truly, you will get some hints, you will get everything, but all of these are incomplete if you do not have what is this Shraddha, what is this Bhakti. Let us see what is it. Krishna is going to be asked a question by Arjuna. Satisfied he is with the Vishwarupa, with the Chaturbhuja Rupa, but he still has a question, and it is good for us. Let us see. Arjuna Uvacha. एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरम् अव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमः. Arjuna asked, there exist devotees who constantly seek thee, but who has the greatest knowledge of yoga according to ye? Those who worship the form of thy divine manifestation, or those who seek thy formless unmanifest with devotion? Krishna is asking there are two types of bhaktas. Who is the greatest bhakta is what he is asking. Is it that person? Who is it who has got the full knowledge of the yoga? Is it that person who worships the form? Or that who worships formless? Anybody? Is this question relevant to us? This
Yes,
question?
yes.
How is it relevant?
Because according to one's uh, progress or inner realization, uh, we worship, we
Okay.
surrender. That is the thing.
But in our heart comes, no, which is the better way, which is the right way. And Arjuna feels, let me ask Krishna only. Let me directly get it from Krishna. So, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Maya Vesha Mano Ye Mam Nityayukta Upasate Shraddhaya Parayopetaha Tame Yukta Tamamataha. Sri Krishna spoke, those who have fixed their mind's concentration and seek verily only my union with the most supreme faith, who offer me their prayers, I hold them to be best amongst my seekers. Krishna is saying, he's not directly answered that question. It's actually a very special question. It's an important question, but Krishna is very neutrally answering it at first. He says, see, those who are having this concentration, who are able to focus on the divine, focus on what? Yog. Yog, what? What is yog? Yog means union. Union of what? Union of God with man. Many people say, why yoga? Because there was Viyoga. There was a separation of consciousness. We got separated. We got Vismruti. We forgot. We lost the Smruti. We have to regain it. So this aspect, this is the entire purpose of sadhana. The Upanishads talk the same thing. Kruto smara kritam smara. Remember, remember. What do you have to remember? You have to remember your immaculate origin. You are that. So Krishna says, anybody who is trying to seek, who is seeking this oneness with the most supreme faith, who offer me their prayers, I hold them to be the best amongst my seekers. So first is the Shraddha is most important. Means this is the important. Which way is best? The way which is cultivating the Shraddha inside of you. That is the best way. So, on this slide, can we suddenly say all those formless worshippers are fools? Or can we say the worshippers of form are fools? What can we appreciate in their worship? Anybody? Whichever way it may be.
Shraddha, yes. The
Shraddha.
faith they have.
All right. Can we see, means my Shraddha is in the, what we can say, form. But can I appreciate another person's Shraddha in the formless? Or should I condemn it?
No, no.
I cannot,
That
isn't
is
it?
the Shraddha part. The faith
Yeah.
the person is holding in himself.
Okay. So that is one important thing because many people over this only they have, I worship this form, I worship that form. This form is more powerful than that form. Again, it's all unnecessary. I have the right to follow my Shraddha. I have the right to seek what I want. My mother is the best mother in the world. I can say that, isn't it? You can also say your mother is the best in the world. But can you say, or I say that my mother is better than your mother? No, it's not possible. It's not comparable at all. It is something like that. So this is important. Shraddha is something which is what Krishna is saying. So he says, those who are having this Shraddha, who are sincerely trying to raise their consciousness. He says, yes, somebody wants to add something, is it? Anybody? No. All right. I thought there was someone speaking something. All right, let us go back. So this is what Krishna has said. I hold them best amongst my seekers. And the next, he says, Ye tvaksharam anirdesham avyaktam paryupasate sarvacha kutastham atalam dhruvam. Those who worship the formless, immutable. So first he's talking about the formless worship. He says, those who worship the formless, immutable, and seek the unconceivable, imperishable, the all-pervading, omniscient, and supernal, who is the equilibrial, infinite, ethereal, and eternal. So the stuti of what is the akshara is being done by Krishna. He says, this formless, immutable, unconceivable, imperishable, all-pervading, omniscient, the supreme one, the equilibrium, infinite, ethereal one, the eternal one. What is he talking about? The Upanishads talk about this only, isn't it? Tattvamasi. They say this is the Brahman. So here Krishna is talking about the formless. He goes on further. He says, Sanniyamyendriyagramam sarvatra samabuddhayaha te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite rataha. This particular part of the shloka, sarvabhuta hite rataha, is very important. With regulation, those 33rd and 4th shloka are a continuation of the same topic. So they can be looked at as a together, the 3rd and 4th shlokas. So the formless he's saying he continues. He says, with regulation, those who control their senses, with their minds balanced and free from pretenses, seeking the betterment of all living beings with dedication, in me too, they certainly attain a dissolution. So even if you are seeking the formless, Krishna says, but you are doing Shraddha, with Shraddha, you are having also a discipline, you're following a niyama, you are having a disciplined way of worship. You are controlling your indriyas. You're not just reacting on the emotional level to external impulses. Your mind is free, your mind is balanced, free from pretenses. Many times we pretend a lot, isn't it? I am such and such person. I do such and such sadhana also. Sadhana also becomes pretend. Somebody is doing a japa. Somebody is doing a japa to show another person I am doing a japa. Is that useful? No, that is not. That is again pretending. There's no use. You should not pretend. You should do what is right, not just pretend to do it. And that is something Krishna is saying. Your mind is free. Your mind is balanced. You are no more just connected with the external impulses of action and reaction also. And with regulation and discipline, you are connecting with the divine with this aspect of Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha, wanting to better the world, make the world a better place. So this aspect is there. Krishna says, you will come with me, you become one, even if you are seeking the formless, but with this aspiration. You mean the Loka Sangraha? is there, if you mean the Lokasangra is there in your bhava, I think that is sufficient, is what Krishna is saying. You are sincerely seeking the betterment of the world, and that empowers you, that furthers your Shraddha, furthers your sadhana towards the divine. Then comes the next shloka, which says further about this formless worship. It says, Kleshodhikarastesham avyakta chetasam avyakta hi dair dukham dehavadbhir avapyate. The difficulties of those seekers are indeed great, who are devoted in their quest for the formless unincarnate. Success is quaint for such individuals trapped in the physical. With sufferings, they realize the imperceptible metaphysical. So here when Krishna is saying that difficulties are great, he's not saying they'll never realize, but he says the difficulties are great for those who are devoted and who are attached to their formless worship only. Success is quaint. It is not so easy for those who are trapped only in their physical, and with suffering, they realize this metaphysical. Means what do you think is Krishna saying here? Is he saying that this is the wrong worship now? Because so far he did not say that. But here Krishna says it is difficult. He's not saying it's not impossible or it's not going to be successful. Why? Why is he saying that? So far, everywhere Shraddha was insufficient, isn't it? But now we see an important line. What could this mean? Anybody? Yes, anybody?
Could not get you, bhaiya. Difficulty lies with whom? Those who worship the formless form.
Yes, yes. Krishna has said that in this shloka. Previously, he said, if you are seeking sincerely for betterment of the world, even if it is the formless, you are trying to connect with the formless also. He says, you will become one with me. But now here he says, it is difficult for them who are completely attached to what is the formless only. They will realize it, he says, but they'll have to go through a bit of suffering because they're trapped in the physical, is what Krishna is saying. They have a pit.
They are trapped in the physical.
Yeah. What do you think could be the
I did
anybody?
not. I did
You
not
didn't-
understand.
all right, Ji. All right. Yes, Renuji, I'll explain to it. Anybody else? Because suddenly this shloka brings about a very different, because till last shloka we felt it's okay, and then suddenly one shloka is pointing out, "Ki, "Arey, why is it difficult then? We are connecting with the formless, all right, that is fine. Shraddha is there, Sarva Bhuta, the betterment of the world also is sought, and yet why are there difficulties? If
Perhaps
you
because the mind needs something more solid to conceptualize, to think.
all right, okay. Renuji says because the mind needs something to conceptualize, to relate to, probably. Okay, that is one. Anybody else?
Because they are concentrating on the formless, they are not getting any feedback which form would give them, uh,
Okay.
like a,
Huh.
a relatively good path, or
Hmm.
indirectly point out what their mistakes would be. So
Okay.
there is no one to direct them on the right path, and also there is no one to whom they can surrender and offer. um,
Okay. Okay. All right, Dr. Swarupa. That's actually a very nice, interesting point. Aspect of feedback means we are made of form, or are we formless? All of us.
we are all made of form.
We are all made of form. So it's much easier to relate to us, form to form, isn't it? Direct
Yes.
than from form to formless. So probably this is one thing, because and here specifically for those who are very attached to their worship of form, just the form only. Meaning in Sanatana Dharma also we have so many margas which directly connect. Like I said, Brahman is what? Brahman is formless also. He's Kalatita. He's beyond what is Akshara and Shara also. He is beyond Vidya and Avidya. So many such descriptions are there. But how does one enter into the kingdom of Brahma Vidya? I want to enter into kingdom of Brahma Vidya. So I checked out the... Yes, Suresh, you wants to add something, sir? Do you?
You had told earlier that choose what is required, not decide
Choose what is?
what is required. What
What is...
needed, not
Ah,
decide.
yes, yes, yes. So
Huh?
here is also a desire that I want to see directly only the formless. I remember once I was trying to get the realization of what? Aham Brahmasmi. I wanted to get that realization. So what was I doing? I thought I'll sit on top of one very big compound wall and sit and meditate there. Aham Brahmasmi. And I was like, let's forget everything else in the world. What happened next? The security guard came and removed all the Brahma inside me, made me get down. Because I was only attached, I was not looking, forgetting the paristiti, forgetting the kala, forgetting the desha, where I am. But I thought I was very sincere in my meditation. It was so frustrating that I could not even talk back to the security guard. I once said I didn't want to get down, but he was with equal force trying to bring me down. Later on, maybe it was Krishna only who was trying to bring me down from that. But you see, when we get attached, isn't it, to this, that, oh, formless only, we start rejecting the form also. That is the biggest problem. Instead, seek the formless also if you want, but don't reject the form. You become attached to something, you are running away from one attachment to another attachment only. And that is what Krishna is saying. But he is not saying they will also never reach because there is Shraddha, isn't it? Shraddha does the work, but it is like a little bit, it's going to be a bumpy ride. You're going to have a little bit of struggle. You'll have to go through some suffering. It's like I can go from Pondicherry to Chennai directly. But say I want to go to I have to go to Bangalore, Bangalore to some other, go to Kanyakumari, and then from Kanyakumari to Chennai. I will reach my destination, no doubt. But it's going to be quite a roundabout route. And I think Sureshji has beautifully said this is also another type of desire that we attach to. Instead, we are trying to remove all of that from our being. So we become free, we can actually experience it. It's very beautifully said. Just one more example I can just think of is I got a random phone call from one of my relatives. I don't even know how that person is my related to me anymore. But the phone call, when he called, he invoked that he was my relative, and he had a problem with me. Somebody I had never met. I didn't know what problem can I cause to someone I have not met at all. He said, "I heard you have a guru." I was like, "Yes, sir, I have. Yes, what is it?" I don't need a guru. That is also fine. All right, sir, that is good for you. But then he went on trying to indicate and tell me what I'm doing is wrong and how he is better, how he is greater, how he can learn from the skies, he can learn from the trees, he can learn from the rivers. And he was going on till one point. Yeah, I said, now enough. Now we have been listening quite for a lot of time. Let us now speak. It does not mean that I'm being quiet. He should take it for granted. So I just said, sir, one question I have for you, sir. It is wonderful that you have this connection. It is brilliant. How many times has the guru caught your ear? How many times have you got hit by your tree, by the river? How many times has the sky told you what you're doing is completely wrong? How many times has all of been told? He didn't respond. I said, sir, I am very useless person. I am very mischievous person. I need to be taught. I need to be scolded. Sometimes I need to be rapped on my head also to bring me on the right path. So I need the guru. Maybe you do not need it. It is good for you. But this is what I told. That was the last time this person called me, and I still don't know. So many years back he had called. I still don't know how he's related to me, to the point that I just know my mother had talked to me about him, but I don't even remember his name anymore. But that question was very nicely answered. Why I have a guru? For me, I need it. That is the way I'll relate. That is the way I will connect with the divine. Maybe many times I feel if divine is there or not is also not a big issue for me because my guru is there and my for me. I can relate to this better than I can relate to that Brahma Tattva. Sometimes Aham Brahmasmi question comes Katham. Katham Brahmasmi. My sharir is like this. I go through this much suffering. I have issues in my body, I have issues in my mind, I have limitations of my intellect, but here I have got my connection. So, and that is why there's a beautiful mantra also. Guru Paramatma Pareshu. Guru Paramatma Pareshu. He is as great as the Paramatma and even beyond for someone. So this form aspect is very clearly told. Krishna is not negating the formless worship anywhere, but he's saying it's a little difficult because you are made of form, you will connect better with a form. Maybe as sadhana goes in, you can transcend. You can transcend to formless worship also, but it should not be you transcending. It should be the consciousness which has risen inside of you, which is allowing you to see that samatva. Not by intellect, not by mind, not by desire. That's all Krishna is saying. And again, he is not saying this is a wrong worship or it is useless. It is a difficult path. Some people say, I will choose the difficult path only in my life. That's fine. It is up to the individual. It is up to the individual. We are nowhere to judge anybody. And probably that is what Krishna tried to imply. Because when Krishna was asked by Arjuna, which is the best path, which is the better path, Krishna didn't directly answer, isn't it? He could have said, this path is better, that path is worst. But instead, he is giving, because he wants Arjuna to go to the Tattva Bodh, go to what is the entire secret or understand the truth of it from the fundamental principle. He goes on further. Ye tu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matpara.
But excuse me,
Yes, ji.
excuse me. But
Yes, ji.
still, I want to know what is trapped in the physical.
I mean, we can say deha buddhi, no? What is this? What is our deha? Deha is made of indriyas. Deha is made of senses. Deha is made of mind. If I think of Brahman and I say I want to realize the Brahman by my mind, can I do it?
Hmm.
Isn't it? It's a limitation, isn't it? I'll have to grow beyond my mind. My mind can process only what my indriyas have sent inputs to me. But what is beyond my indriyas, my mind has not understood. My mind has its own limitation of logic also. Even if you see if you say Indra is like Mana is the Indra, is what Krishna told, no, in the Vibhuti Darshana, among the Indriyas. But this Raja is not the Raja of what we can say infinite kingdom, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Raja is the Raja of a finite, means हमारे गली का राजा है पूरे दुनिया का राजा नहीं है. That is the thing, because my eyes see only what is visible to me. Sometimes what we see also is not true. It is said, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is all, Dr. Swarupaji.
Okay.
Can I go ahead? Yes, ji. Hari Om. Yes.
Yeah.
Hari Om. ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते. But those who offer to me their every action, possessing within them the highest state of devotion, they reach me as they engage in meditation by seeking to attain the unwavering union. Krishna is saying, but those who every action, whatever action is being offered, like Adi Shankaracharya told in his Shiva Manas Puja, Yad Yad Karma Karomi Tadakhilam Shambho Tavaradhanam. Every karma that I do is my aradhana for you. Hey Shambho, hey Bholenath. Yad Yad Karma, every karma. So those who are able to do that, offer every action with the highest state of devotion. Krishna Arpanam, that bhava of devotion, that is something Krishna says. They reach me as they engage in meditation by seeking to attain the unwavering union. This is something which Krishna is saying. With dhyana, they connect when they are doing their karmas also as an offering. One very nice mantra one participant only shared to me. It was, I think, my first batch. I remember her name, Niharika Khannaji. So when we were discussing, she said, I always do everything in my life with this one mantra. I know this mantra only and I follow it. I said, please do share. So what we can say, that is like a Guru Diksha only, isn't it? Sharing the mantra with everybody. So she gave that mantra to all of us. What did she say? She said, Twadiyam vastu govindam tubhyameva samarpayet. Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera, in Hindi. What is yours? I offer it. What is mine? There is nothing that is mine. All that is but his. I think all the scriptures, all the texts, all the margas, they talk about this only. throw away the ahankar, offer to the divine. And Krishna says, somebody who is able to offer to the divine with this particular bhava. And as this person does dhyana or tries to engage in dhyana, dhyana also does not mean living works. Dhyana can be done while doing work also. Has anybody experienced that? Meditation while in action. Anybody? Have you experienced that? Meditation while doing action.
Yes.
Any example, Energy, if you can share?
Right now also.
Acha, dhyana. Okay. What a beautiful. When yes, is the Shravana happening and you are consciously connecting through your life experiences, you are trying to connect with Krishna through the Gita. Gita is becoming the madhyam only, isn't it?
Yes.
Gita has become a nimitta for something else. But when is that possible? It is possible only when you are connected with what we full Shraddha Bhav to Krishna. Means this is something which is very important. Otherwise, people read certain books, they read it, isn't it? Quickly they read the book. But that book is not having any, even on their mind, it doesn't have a impression on it. But then there are some books which awaken a person completely and transform. That is why Gita, Sri Aurobindo called it a scripture for transformation of the human race. For the future of man, this is the book, this is the scripture which will bring about a transformation. Let us go on further. Krishna says, Tesham aham samudharta mrityu sansara sagarat bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. Oh Arjuna, for the soul's evolution, I bring deliverance from death's material ocean. I propel the journey across the eternal sea of all those whose consciousness is affixed on me. Krishna says here, for the evolution, for the Jivatman's forward movement, he says, I liberate from Mrityu Sansara Sagara. I propel the journey across the sea, that eternal sea of Sansara, of all whose consciousness is affixed on me. Is it reminiscent of something we saw in the 8th Adhyay about yogis choosing their marga by virtue of their consciousness, by virtue of the force that they cultivated? Anybody remembers something from the 8th Adhyay? Any similar theme? If yes, please do share. Anybody? The Adhyay 8 was the Adhyay of death, isn't it? On death, on the journey. Something about this Bhrur Madhye, yogis focusing. Anything was there? Yes,
Yes,
please. Anybody?
in the last
Chaitanya.
moment, if you are focusing between that point on the between your eyebrows, and if you are contemplating on the divine, then I think it was said that
Yes.
it will help to get it
On the forward journey,
on the
isn't
forward
it?
journey. Yeah.
So one thing we saw focusing at this point is one of the methods of dhyana only. Pranapano samo krutva. Krishna said one of the meditations is focus at this point, control inhalation and exhalation, equalize it. That was one method, one of the reasons. Another thing we saw, it strengthens your consciousness. What does it help? And it helps you in life, it helps you in afterlife also. Here also it's very interesting. Krishna is saying, I will take ahead. Means my consciousness is already going to start. You are going to awaken that consciousness. The journey is going to be easy. Rigveda also it is said about the Suvarna rays of goddess Usha, the dawn. She is the dawn of the new life. She is the dawn of the new birth, a dawn of a new consciousness. There's a nice word, Mritang Kanchana Bodhayanti. So the golden rays give bodha or knowledge for whom? For those who have departed. It's like they are going to use these rays to go back towards that source of light. It is pretty interesting there. And Krishna says, yes, it's your consciousness. You're holding on to my consciousness. You will be liberated also if you're cultivating inside. This is exactly something many people have experienced also. Why in maybe people know only life, they do not know of the afterlife experiences. It's very rare for some ones, unless they are yogis, they get experience of the afterlife. But in life also, focusing on the divine. Have you experienced Krishna or the divine or any other form with you, Shraddha, whenever you have invoked? Have you experienced that consciousness of the divine cocooning you or protecting you or shielding you and taking you out of a difficult situation? Has anybody experienced that? If yes, please do share so we'll move on quickly to the next shloka. Anybody? Have you experienced in life the force of the divine? Yeah. Yes,
I
please.
think the general example would be when all of us feel when something happens in our life, we feel this was meant to be, or we feel um, it happened flawlessly without us putting too much effort.
Okay, so that means you sought the help and then suddenly all those who have sought
Yes.
have received and you feel, Arey, this was perfect.
Or
This
when we
happened actually.
feel it was divine intervention.
Any
When
particular example, if it's not without any personal details, if you can think of anything, the smallest of small or the biggest of them. Any.
I think the most recent one I can think of is so uh, a couple of years ago when I lost my father,
Okay,
the
ji.
it so happened that we had to I had to relocate my mother to a different house. So at that point,
Okay.
everything just fell in place. I mean, even though we were in the middle of
Ah,
all of that emotional
yeah. Okay.
turmoil, we found a house immediately. Just
Things
everything
went
just
very
things
smoothly.
went step by step. Everything just smoothly happened. I think
Correctly getting somebody's contact, correctly the person
correct,
helping you, getting it. And sometimes it happens so randomly, isn't it? Sometimes a newspaper comes in
absolutely.
front, some phone call, oh, this person, I know this person, and things suddenly fall. Or I mean, I can relate to it. Thank you, Karthik ji, for sharing. And it's a very difficult moment. I mean, losing a father is like losing the roof of the head, no? Roof over the head for anybody. A parent is something like that. And so then suddenly you feel, who is going to take care? Who is going to? And then when you turn towards the divine, it's a Shraddha inside of you. If it is firm, that is all Krishna says, I will take you across. I will take you across is the promise. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. This is what Krishna said. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. I will take you across. That is same thing we see here. He's saying, into all your troubles, I can take you across. If you consciously raise yourself and connect with the divine. But this is an experience that must be had. Ms. Karthik ji has very kindly shared his experience with all of us. Probably because we have had similar experience, we can relate to it. But someone who does not have Shraddha, he will not relate to this experience. Not because the experience is not true, because Shraddha is missing, and that is why it's so important. Shraddha is so important. I see God, I experience God. If I go and tell to somebody, I might even be stoned for that. Because that person doesn't have Shraddha. That does not mean I will not have that experience or what experience I have got. This aspect is very personal. Shraddha is absolutely innermost. It is what we can say the fundamental of our being. And Krishna says focus on the divine. He goes on. He goes on further. He says, Mayeva mana adhat swa, Mai buddhim niveshaya. Nivasishyasi mayeva ata urdhvam na sanshayah. He says, let there be no doubts. He says, make me the sole focus of your mind. Your intellect, founded in me alone, may you find. Then you shall without doubt reside in me in a plane beyond the mortal one that you can see. Means you'll not descend is what Krishna is saying. You will remain in that consciousness in a difficult moment also. When you focus on the divine, your buddhi also, your mana also is founded in the divine. Then Krishna says, my question is this easy? At all times thinking of the divine, focusing on the divine completely, at all times, in every action. Is it easy is my question. Possible? I think everybody will say, yeah, it could be possible, maybe possible. But I'm saying, is it easy? Yes, Dr. Swarupaji.
No, it is not easy. Your mind quite often wavers off into different things. But if you're conscious about it, you can get it back and you can have the divine behind your mind, beyond your thoughts and in your mind always.
Ji,
But
ji,
it is
ji.
not easy.
It is not easy. And because of a tendency, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tendency of the mind is always chanchala, as Krishna was told by Arjuna. Every time you get a little bit experience, suddenly we become, I have got the experience, time to raise my collar. भगवान हाँ ठीक है अभी भगवान की जरूरत नहीं है मैं हूँ. And then suddenly we remember, right, I'm again overwhelmed, I need help. Till then we don't turn. Many times it happens. But Krishna is saying first, he says, simple, if you are there, you will not descend. You will go on to the higher and higher consciousnesses only. Those planes of consciousness will be yours when you are focusing on the divine at all times. But that is a little difficult many times. So Krishna says, no problem. If Krishna was a representative trying to clinch a business deal, I can say he'll 100% get. He'll give new offers one after the other. I said, all right, it's okay. This is difficult. No problem. Krishna says, I'll give you a simpler option. Next option to Arjuna, he says, the eighth one, he says, all times focus on me. But second one, he says, Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai sthiram abhyasa yogena tato mam ichhaptum dhananjaya. If to dwell in me, O Arjuna, you are not capable and cannot keep your mind firm and stable, then by practicing yoga, make yourself able and make your awakened consciousness sustainable. So Krishna is saying, see, it's okay if all the time you're not thinking of the divine. You're not able to focus at every time, at every moment. He says, it's okay, it's all right. What to do? He says, make your mind strong. How can you make it strong? With yoga. Krishna is saying, practice yoga. Practice yoga. Yoga is what? It's about experiencing oneness, isn't it? The definition of Kriya Yoga is about Samadhi Bhavana Artha Tesha means Klesha Tanu Karnarthascha. So for reducing the Klesha, to reduce the difficulty for going towards the Bhavana of Samadhi, that is why yoga is to be done. Why should yoga done? Because we want to remove the suffering from our life. Pain will be there, no? For all of us. Some people don't have pain. For that also they have pain. Yeah, I'm not having any pain. Everybody is having pain. Because this is the nature of human being to attach to suffering. Everything. The king can also suffer. The beggar can also suffer. Why? It's the attachment, the outer attachment. But when you connect to the divine, then suffering can disappear. There's a nice bhajan which says, Majha mana lago chanda govinda, nitya govinda. It says, Tutela sakara upadhi, means all your degrees also, everything will fall flat when you connect with the divine. Nirasela adi vyadi, disease also, other things also, all difficulties will disappear. When your mind connects with the divine. He says, if you want to have a habit, have the habit of Govinda. Have the habit of the divine. Have the habit of connecting, is what Krishna is saying. It's so simple as that. Make your awakened consciousness sustainable. This is very important. Keeping it sustained. Many people, they look like Buddha only when they are meditating. After meditation, suddenly we start searching, where is Buddha now? Ravana has come from where? Same person. In meditation, he is brilliant. He goes very quiet. No, when he prays to God, he does the best stuti. He is so humble. He is so peaceful. But only after praying, he is not able to do it. There was one story also of a monk who was engaging in meditation. He was brilliant in his meditation. He could sit for hours deep into meditation. But after meditation, he had a very bad habit, a very bad way of talking also, and everything he used to even curse. This was something which is not allowed, isn't it? These are two opposites. A person is not having what we can say samatha, no? There is directly a dvandva in the personality itself. So the guru decided, I have to now intervene. So what does he do? The guru purposely goes and disturbs that person while he is meditating. Immediately, since he's got disturbed, without seeing who is there, without just opening his eyes, he starts uttering swear words, and suddenly he sees, oh my God, I have uttered it to my guru only, and he feels ashamed, looks down all of. Then the guru says, see, this is wrong. You are now, that is where he realizes, no, I cannot, I have to keep that consciousness sustainable. Many times when we do dhyana, when we focus, when we become silent, what happens then? We are very peaceful. But then suddenly when we go and meet our friends or we go, whatever consciousness we have gathered, it suddenly gets scattered. Has anybody experienced that anytime? A good feeling, the good vibes that you have generated inside, suddenly like child carrying all wonderful marbles and the marbles fall down, they start scattering everywhere. Like that, the consciousness also gets scattered. Has anybody experienced that? Yes.
Yes, Bhaiya.
Yes.
All right. Chaitanya ji is also saying, Renu ji is also. I think all of us do that, isn't it? That is why they say, Chalo, let us focus, let us avoid certain things, let us avoid things which will lower our consciousness. Because yogis understand it is to be sustained. And Krishna is saying, see, all right, if you cannot focus on me at all times, at least learn, practice this yoga, try to become one, try to raise your consciousness by yoga also. But I think, is this easy? Keeping it sustained also. Anybody? Keeping the consciousness sustained, is it easy? Krishna is saying practice yoga.
Yes,
Renuji?
it is through constant remembrance when you remember the
Yeah,
or
but if
when you
is it easy? I remember God when I am in troubles. Otherwise, I don't need. When I'm eating my favorite food, I don't remember God. But when my stomach starts complaining, then I start remembering. This happens, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Chaitanya ji wants to say something.
Yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
Chaitanya ji.
it is not easy, no, at least not for me, because even if you start consciously, you get into see something or get into a discussion, and then you go get carried away, and then you eventually end
Yeah.
up thinking, oh, I'm at the same place where I was before.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yes.
yeah, I
I think
mean
this is a nature. It is.
yeah,
Absolutely. So sometimes this practicing yoga also becomes difficult. Like it was many years back when before World Yoga Day was Yoga Divas was celebrated. Our Prime Minister talked about it to the Russian Prime Minister, who is currently the same one, the Putin. That time he said, "Oh, he is a former KGB agent, isn't it?" But he said yoga is very difficult because he felt it is difficult. Again, some people called Sahaja Yoga also. Very simple. It happens naturally. Dr. Suraj, you want to say something? Yes, sir. You are a yoga teacher also, along with an Ayurvedic Vaidya, no? Yes, sir. Please tell me, sir.
So, being practicing yoga, it's very difficult to maintain that consciousness. Actually,
हाँ जी
so
जी जी
we get into the peak of the consciousness, and sometimes we become so dumb.
yeah okay,
Even
that's a very
in
what we can say humbly and also correctly pointed out, because we are thinking of something Brahma Gyan, higher knowledge, and we
we
forget what is on the ground.
second see ourselves arguing about something small things.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yes, yes. So it is, this is also difficult. Then what
so
to do? Yes, sir.
please practice. Then only we can keep on that consciousness along with
Okay.
the.
Yes. All
It
right.
is just like that. Keeping your consciousness when you work,
Mm-hmm.
your work, you have to keep your consciousness. That is the topmost challenge that Krishna demands.
But what about when we are with our loved ones, Dr. Suraji? That time also we need to have that high consciousness.
That is one more easiest
Challenge.
thing that we do. If you love someone, we don't have to force ourselves to remember that person.
Yes,
If you love
yes. Okay. Yes, yes, that
that,
is true. Yes, I'm saying that about my question was, Dr. Suraji, is like in workplace, you have to keep your consciousness while you're doing work. But like when you
yes,
are with your loved ones, that time also it's difficult, no, to remain in one consciousness.
that is. But you
Is
see,
that?
working and also we love someone, we remember
Hmm.
that also, and we do our work also with a
Yeah.
pleasant happiness, right?
Okay. All right, sir.
Why
Yes,
not
yes.
love or bhakti?
Fine. Ji, ji.
we,
All right, ji. Okay.
we
Fine,
can
ji.
easily.
Hariom. Ji, ji. So, yes, Dr. Surajji has shared us one more aspect. Yes, it is. If we are having the love aspect, Shraddha is there, it becomes easy. But otherwise, it is when you're doing it only intellectually without Shraddha, then it becomes difficult. But still, Krishna is there because he is there for offering the simplest way, the easiest way. Because Krishna says one more option. अच्छा ठीक है, ये भी difficult है, no problem. I'll give you another option. What does he say? He says in the next shloka, he says, Adha chittam samadhatum No, we finished this, the 9th one, the 10th shloka. Abhyase अभ्यासेऽपि असमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि. And if this yoga too you cannot partake, then just perform all your actions for my sake and let all your works be only mine. And then you shall attain a perfection divine. Acha, theek hai. You are also like Arjuna, saying, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna. What are you saying? My mind is so chanchal, it cannot become balanced. How will I become free? That time Krishna says, Abhyasena, Vairagyena, by abhyas, by practice, by regulated efforts, or by Vairagya of detachment. But now Krishna says, Acha, theek hai, all of this also you are finding it difficult. I will give you another option. He says, if and in this yoga too you cannot partake, then just perform all your actions for my sake. Let all your works be only mine. Means ownership of everything is now being offered to the divine. Ownership of everything you do. I think we already tried to offer it to different people, and then we experience sorrow because I offered it. I did it for somebody else. It's a beautiful song, actually. Everything I do it for you, and that's a beautiful song. But then suddenly we see somebody who do so much for that person throws it away. Then what do? Then you try to offer it to somebody else. Then sometimes people are in trap of loops only. Everybody is doing this. Why are they doing this to me? Is the question they ask. Probably they should ask, why am I doing this? Instead, offer it to the divine. We can offer our works to the divine. We can offer our works to the divine. What happens then? Krishna says, if you offer to the divine, he says so simply, you will attain perfection. Because this is one. Love is one human emotion which can bring about a transformation. If it is channeled in the right direction, and there's no better channel than to the divine. The divine is also a distributor, isn't it, of forces and energies. So he will distribute it. If you want to offer to somebody else, also bring the divine in between. He will ensure it goes to the right place and the right time. There's a goddess called Dakshina, a Devi in the Rig Veda. Interestingly, that was also the name of our Ayurvedic importer. She's no more now, but for so many years, she would distribute our Ayurvedic products to various people in the consumers, and she was like a goddess only for us. Definitely. Giving the shares to everyone. We as manufacturers were also happy, consumers were also happy receiving all of it. Something like that. When you surrender to the divine, when you offer to the divine all your works, then Krishna says, not only your works will become Divya Karma, they will have the, what we can say, stamp of Siddhi also. They will also reach what we can call the highest states of perfection or Siddhi or Siddha Lakshanas will be visible in your karmas also, is what Krishna is saying. Again, question is the same. Is it easy to offer everything to the divine? Yes or no? Anybody?
Sometimes it does happen that
Ji.
I do something, but I am not in his remembrance. But
Ah.
after doing, when I realize, I just offer.
Then you offer.
Yes, because
But your attachments, can you offer to the divine? Your attachments.
yes, I would like to share one experience.
Acha, yes, ji.
My son was going to his college now, and I have only one son. So my life revolved around him.
Yes.
Yes. So, but I was I'm very stoic. I cannot show my expressions, my feelings towards him, because when I just burst in front of him crying and those things, my emotions, he'll be very
Yeah.
weak. That is the thirdly feeling for him. So while I used to go to the courtyard and all those things, I used to call my Lord. I used to tell him, if this is the attachment for my son, I want this attachment for you.
Ji. Absolutely. Yes, Renuji. It is difficult, isn't it, to let
This
go
should
for a
not
mother?
make me weak. Yes.
Yes. This is such a
I
beautiful
prayed.
aspect.
Yes, and I prayed and I was granted.
You were granted that. Wow.
Yes, I was
That
granted,
is
and I
great.
am really very much free.
You're free now,
And
and your love is not
yes,
reduced.
and I am enjoying this freedom also. And
It's
he's also enjoying this freedom.
he's also enjoying it.
Yes, and everybody would look up to me and say, Renu, how are you feeling now? Because your son is away. My neighbors, my parents, my
Where
mother,
is he
my
away?
sisters, and
Hmm.
I was very much happy and cheerful, and they did not expect this thing from me.
Gee, gee, gee. So
So
sometimes
yes,
attachments come in the way, isn't it? We feel we are holding on to them. That is why they're with us. But even if you let go, they are still with you, isn't it?
yes, love
That the
should get
bonds are
you
there.
free. What is love?
Yes.
That should set you free.
Yes.
That should not
That should
bind
not
you.
bind. And such a difficult
Yes,
thing it is. It is why it is said actually. They say Namatu Paradaivatam for a child, or the mother and child son bond, or father and children. They are like they say Mata Pita, Guru Dev, parents come first. But one more thing which needs to be said, sometimes they are the first enemies also in the
yes,
house because of
yes,
the attachments. So
yes.
these attachments have to be overcome. And this is beautiful as Renuji said. The love need not diminish even a bit. Instead, it becomes more complete, it becomes more fulfilled. Otherwise, there are children also who take advantage of the attachment. Case in point is myself only, useless person completely. To my mother, I would one particular song I knew she would become emotional, so I'd purposely go and sing that song. Kya main itna bura hu main ma. Immediately she would become emotional. Now she says, no, no, you are useless. That does not have a what we can say. Attachment is something, and this attachment happens to everybody because it is a part of our Prakriti. And that is why sadhana is required to rise above this. Krishna says sadhana is required to rise above this attachment. Because what happens? We said that I comes in through the attachment only. I am doing this. I am doing that. My daughter should do this. My son should do this. My beloved should do this. I. Same thing happened to Dhritarashtra also, isn't it? He is blind symbolically also, not just physical blindness. His attachments have made him blind that he's not able to see the truth, and he's not able to allow Duryodhana also to see that truth because of him. This is what should be. Because many times when we start doing action, we do it well. I did it. There's a nice kawali to remember. तूने क्या बनाई, तूने क्या सजाई, सब किया है तो उसने, तूने बातें बनाई. The divine has done all of it. Where are you? Why are you taking doership? Why are you taking ownership of all? Na ham karta, hari hi karta. I am not the doer. The divine is the doer. I am just the nimitta. That is the bhava. But we must congratulate Renuji for the very difficult and decision or very difficult aspect to be taken. But many find this also difficult. You say, no. Had once said in one, you have to now make an affidavit, get it registered from a notary also or in the registrar's office. Henceforth, everything in my life belongs to divine. Everything, ownership of everything in this is to testify that all belongings of mine are now divines. Make this, print it, stick it on the front room. So you are going to see it every day. Or make a frame and put it there. This is what we can do. But somebody said, no, that's difficult. There are certain things I want to keep to myself. I don't want to offer to the divine. Krishna is saying, fine. Okay, you want to keep something. You think you can keep it from me? Fine. You want to keep it. He goes on. He says, I give you one more option. Let us go to the next chapter. If you see the shlokas 8, 9, 10, 11, all these are continuously, offering us different ways to enter into the marga of bhakti. Many people say, how do we cultivate bhakti? Bhakti can be like, but these are ways Krishna has given in this chapter. That is why this chapter is so important. If many people have the brilliant, wisdom, brilliant intellectual faculties, spiritual also great heights, but bhakti element is lacking. It is like not having a foundation for a big building then. Bhakti is so important. And one of the ways is to surrender only. Surrendering to the divine, and then experiences come. And then, like the tears start flowing, evacuations also take place. And then, after a while, the tears also stop flowing and the bhakti keeps rising. Means the person keeps going ahead. So, the last option Krishna gives. Acha, if this is also not possible, let us look at this. The 11th shloka. Krishna says, अथैतदपि असक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यथात्मवान्. If constantly thinking of me is beyond you, चलो ठीक है, you're not able to think of me all the time. There are times you feel our private moments. I don't want to think of the divine. I want to keep it secret from the divine. I don't want to offer everything of I will keep some things. It's all right. Krishna is saying, I don't have any business to take anything that you want to keep to you. He says, it's okay. He says, if constantly thinking of me is beyond you, there is yet another thing that you can do. Tame your mind through a spirited self control and renounce the fruits of your actions as a whole. अच्छा ठीक है. Continuous upasana not possible. Continuous bhakti is not happening. Your chitta is chanchal only. You're not able to focus. You're not able to recognize the super lordship of the divine. All these things you are not able to understand. Just do this one thing. He says, Sarva karma phala tyaga. Simple as that. Renounce the actions as a whole. Roots of actions, not renounce actions. Many people take this as sarva karma phala tyaga means sarva karma tyaga, and then very nice, you can sit down, relax easily. No, it's not the karmas that have to be tyaga. The phala of the karmas means the expectations. Isn't this the same thing Krishna told in the second adhyay? Karmanne vadhikaraste mam phaleshu kadachana. Why? That time he was saying that is the secret of karma yoga. For doing karma, to make siddha karma, to make your karmas perfect. Here, this is also the kernel of bhakti yoga as well. Means the fruits of your actions. My question is, can you choose the fruits of your actions? Anybody? Is there anybody who can choose the fruit of their actions? There are so many variable factors in the world, isn't it? Until the manifestation happens. You get, even forget fruits of your action, you try cultivating a particular fruit also in a garden. Can you control when you will get the fruits? Yes, Chaitanya ji is saying thing. Yes, sir.
No,
Yes,
and
sir.
I think it's I think the way Shri Krishna is putting it, I can just think of it in a way that in second I think he was more trying to say that don't think about the result, but now he is saying that because I mean he's also trying to make sure that you are not careless about it. I mean because you're going to offer it to me, automatically I
Yeah.
think maybe you are going to you are going to do it in the best possible way as a part of bhakti, and
Yeah.
at the same time not think about it. So he's trying to make sure that you don't become careless about it, but at the same time you don't get attached to it as well.
Yes. And he is not very insecure. No, if you don't think of me, I
Correct.
will get insulted. I will send you thunderbolt from the sky. I'll send you to heaven, hell because you didn't call out my name. No, it's nothing like that. He says, do this one thing at least. Sarva karma phala tyaga. Means it's like imagine you are walking on the road and I come with a gun and stop you. And I say, I will not allow you to pass unless you give me Eiffel Tower. What will you say? अरे भाई Eiffel Tower ले लो, Taj Mahal भी ले लो. Let me go, isn't it? Because they're not yours at all. Do you own the Eiffel Tower? You don't own it. You don't own this. And Krishna is not asking something you own. He's asking you something you don't own at all. You never own the fruits of your actions. Isn't this true? Do we own the fruits of our actions? Until we receive it, we do not know, no, what's going to happen. I may have done the best, most sincere thing in a right manner, but it got perceived the wrong way. Why? God knows. We'll do a good big PhD on why it happened. My Purva Janma Sukrit was like this was this, some calculation. You'll bring in higher order differential equations trying to identify why this karmic fruit was like this. No, you cannot do all of it. You cannot. And it's as simple as that. Even when you go into the market, you try to buy a fruit from a vegetable, for a fruit vendor. From the outside, it looks very nice, isn't it? You may have expertise because it's your favorite fruit you have been purchasing for several years. You'll say, I can look at it and tell which is correct or not. But nowadays, Kali Yug, no? Marketing vendors also make the fruit look very good from the outside. Until you cut it open, you don't understand how it is. It is as simple as that with life, and Krishna is asking only one thing, and that one thing is not yours at all. He's asking, just give up this. Give up the fruits of your actions. Sarva karma phala tyaga. Isn't this easy at least? Maybe others may be difficult. Some people may say others are very easy. Some people will say it is so easy because I love Krishna. Every time I think of Krishna only. Somebody will say it's very difficult. I can't think every time. And somebody will say, Chalo, theek hai, I can at least intellectually and ingrain into my consciousness that nothing belongs to me, nothing belongs to me. Theek hai, this can be done. Or somebody will say, I have tendency to do yoga, dhyana, and I can connect with the divine and try to increase that consciousness for a longer time. But somebody says nothing works for me. But this thing is not so difficult, isn't it? Just imagine me with a gun stopping you on your way. I will not allow you to pass unless you give me Eiffel Tower. Lay low, all seven wonders of the world. Take all of them and just let me pass. Because it's not yours, it is not yours, but you cannot go ahead unless you do the Sarva Karma Phala Tyaga. Unless you do this, your marga is not going to be free. It is not going to be free. But isn't it easy if you look at it from a perspective? Compared to the other paths also, other ways also, which Krishna has said, this aspect of letting go of the fruits of your actions. Anybody, in a way, psychologically, just doing an analysis, a psychoanalysis of it. Isn't it easiest, at least, if not very easy, but among the ways? Just something you don't have. Yes, please. Yes, Ji?
It is easy, sir, actually.
It is
I
easy.
want to share an example. Recently,
Okay.
my daughter participated in a dance competition in school, and she was like, I practiced so much and
Mhm.
I did very nicely, and I didn't get the prize. I was like,
Ah,
the participation is very important.
ah.
Whatever you have practiced with dedication, that is very important. The
Hmm.
prize is
Price is not, isn't it?
it's
And
not
she was able
important.
to understand it. She was able to understand it, Sindhuji?
A little bit, I guess, sir.
Oh wow, that you should have taught her the Gita only then.
Yes.
So wonderful. Yes, it is, isn't it? The enjoying the moment of the dance, enjoying every moment of grace, experiencing that, becoming one with the rhythm, with the tal. That is itself yoga, no? That is itself something special. And this is something we must understand, because otherwise, because of these expectations which are not fulfilled, only biggest problems in life happen. I did this so much, I did this. I mean, some the yogis are like Swaha, Agneya Swaha, Agneya Idan Nama. They offer everything to the divine. Take it, take it, take. You want whatever, everything of mine here, take it. They offer it like that. But the bhogi is not able to offer, and that is why the entire suffering is there all the time. Somebody offers, gives a friend one help, and after 10 years, after 20 years also, after 30 years also, I did that help that day. Teeth also have fallen down. This person is now in his 80s and he's saying, no, 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 when you were 15, I gave you my t-shirt. I mean, what is that age? What is now? How things are. But people, hold on. Chaitanji was adding something. Yes, sir. And probably then we'll conclude. Yes, Ji.
I think what can help in doing this is maybe what we need to understand that experience of doing it that cannot be taken away from you. So result
Yeah,
may not
yeah,
fall your way,
yeah.
but that experience of doing it cannot be taken away.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what happens when you focus on the divine, no? When you focus on your action, you have planted the right fruit. You have done all the right works. The tree will give you the right fruit only, isn't it? Prakriti is going to help. Prakriti will also work. So when you do it, but our job should not be that. And best example are our farmers. In Bharata, our farmers are very dependent on the monsoons, on the rains and everything. I remember one farmer working so hard for his yield. And everything was beautiful. He was cultivating sesame. Sesame plant has also grown beautifully from the seed. I was also having my eyes on them because I wanted the sesame seeds. So I just went and I said, looks so beautiful. Fine, don't worry. We will only take it from you. Don't worry. All of this talks are over. And I was waiting for the harvest only. When is it going to happen? Suddenly, at the wrong time, there were rains. Just at the harvest time. And such a big field and so little, he said, I've just barely got enough for my home. I'm not going to cultivate next year. I said, that's okay, fine. But how about you? What about you? He said, no, this is God, he says. He says, this is Yerke in Tamil, they call it nature. And he says, nature is God. It decides for what it has to do. It's all right. It's all right. I don't know. And that was very much what we call Sthita Prajna. Somebody's physical efforts in the sun, toiling so many years of not years, months of efforts, all of it, watching over, ensuring the pests are not there, everything. And this is something which we must understand. Fruits are not in our hand. There's always a factor of variable change in this world. And that is something which is going to govern the outcome. But if your focus is on the karma, you will not get deviated from it. Change the course of events, their karmas only. That is how powerful karmas can be. Damleji's one elder brother was there. He was a friend of his, whom he would call Mama. And that time he had not got the chance. This person, he had not got a chance to study much. So what he did was immediately after schooling, he just joined a lathe workshop. So one Damleji would go once in a while to see him, what is happening, how are you? But what he remembers is he had such a good respect. Even the manager, everybody would talk to this about him with a lot of respect. And Damleji went and once asked him what was he wanted, well, discussion only. It was not like specifically just discussion. That time he had told that with your karma, work so hard with your karma that your boss also becomes your slave. अपने मालिक को भी गुलाम कर देना अपने कर्मों से. This a bhakta is able to make the divine also with bhakti, no? प्रभु को नियम बदलते देखा is one of the bhajans. How is it possible? Well, with bhakti, the chain rules can also be bent by the divine, but let that bhakti have that intensity. And for that, one of the basic, these are all perfect shlokas which we can emulate and focus in our life. So I think with this, we will stop today. If somebody can summarize it, it would be nice. We could look. Yes, sir. Suresh wants to say something. Please unmute, sir. Yes, sir. Please unmute, sir. I can't hear you. Sorry, sir. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now, sir.
There's a contradiction in what you are saying. All of
Okay,
my
sir.
life, I have sacrificed everything to achieve something. I should enjoy
Okay.
the fruit. Why should I surrender everything to somebody? Tell me.
So
I
so
have
you
done
feel
everything. I have done the hard work. I have sacrificed. Why should I give up
so you
suddenly?
feel you do not want to give up to Krishna. Okay.
No,
But
I've done it to enjoy for myself.
for
The
yourself.
aim was for myself in the
Yes,
beginning.
yes.
Enjoy for me and maybe to my family or somebody.
So you do not want to sacrifice. Means option 4 also, sarva karma phala tyaga. You want to hold
This
on to
option
them.
is contradicts the other
To
one.
you, which one? It's contradicting to which other option, sir? What do you feel you can say?
Surrender.
Yes, sir?
Leaving it to others.
Leaving it to the divine, not giving it to anybody else. But my question is, if you hold on to it also, will it guarantee? Will it
Let me
guarantee,
enjoy
sir?
the fruit for some time at least.
Okay, okay. But if you, no, yes, yes, you are very welcome and it is most right holding on. But I'm asking is holding on to it, can it guarantee? Can it guarantee that you will be able to enjoy just by holding on to, sir? By
Not
holding on to it,
forever.
no?
Not
I want
forever.
to, no, not forever also. I'm saying is, I
But
want my son. I have, for example, people say my children are not just my children, they are my investments. I am doing so much for my children because tomorrow I want to enjoy their what I have done, something I should get in return. ये तो मेरी FD है. People say looking at their children. यही मेरी policy है. But what happens is not everybody is fortunate enough to have good children also, isn't it? Sometimes people do a lot for others and nobody does anything in return. What happens to such cases who are when they are not getting something? Again, sir, Krishna is not taking away any of your ananda. He is saying just your attachment only is like now Renuji is not giving up her son. She has given up her attachment for her son, but not giving up her son at all. But this aspect of with your desires, I want to make my child behave this way only. Why? Because I have done so much. I think when we were young, our father told I did so much. When the father was young, his father told I did so much. But now are we carrying on that cycle? Are we carrying on this cycle along with certain karma bandhanas and passing it on? Instead, this is not means surrendering. It is not surrendering to the enemy, no. You're keeping it in a safe place. Now, Renuji is surrendered her attachment to her child. She has not thrown her love for the child out of the window. She has thrown her tivra ichha that I want to be present at all times and over all decisions. Why? Because she wants her child to be free and experience that independent life experience of growing consciously. That is surrender. Surrendering is not taking away. Like I have done, Krishna says, enjoy with me, no? Bring Krishna also into your party. Sureshji, in isn't it?
Yes.
You are going to enjoy. Bring him into the party, then you will enjoy. You will see Krishna whispering, see, this person is fooling you. This person is doing like that. And then you'll see, see, this person is using my attachment. Because it is about surrendering attachment. I have seen some people who have done so much all their life. Best example, why I can say examples mostly is because of my guru only. You see, I am not connected with him by blood or any relation, and suddenly 13 years one person is coming and staying. Sir is 77. At 77 also he feels I want to give to the society. Even if somebody says good or not. Many of his own relatives feel he is doing a wasted work, wasted life. What are you doing? All of this. But those who are getting benefit are experiencing. He says, I don't care whether people praise me or criticize me. At 77, he says, I am ready for new beginnings. He says, I will not retire. There's only retire. New tire has to be added to my vehicle. It will move on. So that is the aspect. So when we speak about surrendering in this option also, it is how to cultivate the bhakti for Krishna is it is as simple as that. It is letting go of our attachments. That is all what Krishna is saying, sir. It is not asking you to not enjoy. It is actually making your life more fulfilled because in our attachments, sometimes we don't really enjoy the most also. Because I did this, because I did that, we have to sometimes forget because everybody is doing something or the other, isn't it, in the world? And like one young girl got cancer at 26. What will you say? What has she done to deserve it? Has she done something to deserve it in this life, Sureshji? No, she has not.
She has
And young,
every right to ask that question.
but she is saying, thank you, God, for my cancer, sir. I was surprised and shocked. I was shocked because she directly got third stage diagnosis. I was feeling bad. I was feeling emotional. When she talked to me, I was like, Arey, yaar, like she's my younger sister. What is this? Don't cry was all I was telling myself. Talk to her. She was asking, don't I have the right to dream? Of course you have the right to dream, but I was myself not sure. 1 year ago, there was a different diagnosis. After 1 year, she has become cancer free, but she is able to say, thank you. I have another friend of mine. So what I'm saying, sir, is that Kritagnya Bhavam can come anytime. We have to probably think of how we can let go of what I have done. Because everybody has done something or the other. Duryodhana also has done something. He deserves to receive all his life. He's been called not the real heir, not the real heir of the throne. So that way he will feel, I have to receive this. I have to receive this. Instead of that, if we can just recognize what is coming to you, means even the Isha Upanishad says, ईशावास्यम idam sarvam yat kincha jagat tena tyaktena bhunjita magrudha kasya dhanam. Means become grateful that everything, the position that you are having today, the moment that you have today is because of what? I think all of us are here today because of sacrifices of somebody else, isn't it? Wherever we are. Right now also, the meeting that we are holding on live using technology, it's a product of sacrifice of so many scientists. Many of the scientists are never known. They might have spent their entire year, so many years, 20 years, 30 years of research to develop something. For what? People will never know. Sometimes they develop one technology which becomes obsolete overnight. 30 years of research, 30 years of efforts. For what? For a technology which has just gone behind. Can we say it went waste? Their years? No, it has not, because this is Nityam Yagne Pratishthitam. The world is in a Nitya Yagna. We may not be conscious of it, but Yagna is happening at every time, at every moment. We are not. And can we repay this debt? When we talk about returns, can we repay the debt of our parents? Ki chalo, इतने सारे मम्मी ने आलू पराठे बनाए, I am now going to give her a check. What will happen then? She'll give me a slap. She'll say no. She'll say, keep that with you. Don't ever call me your son anymore. I mean, don't call me your mom. You're not my son if you're doing all of this nonsense. Because there are things in life which are more than quantific. I want to experience this. Somebody says, I want, all my life I have not eaten sweets. This is the time for me to eat sweets. But nature has different plans and ensures that person has diabetes. Now what will happen to that person? Can he say, Zindagi ne zindagi or gum diye, and start singing that song of sorrow? Ghazals, life is like this, life is like that. Or he can try to find another way of life also. There is life beyond my desires. There is life beyond my own attachments also. That is something. This adhyaya is shlokas. If we can just focus on those 4 shlokas, we could actually choose one of the 4, whichever is suiting us. It is the aspect of Krishna is it is a choice of yours. And nowhere is Krishna forcing. Till now also, Arjuna is listening for 12 adhyayas. Normally, when we talk to our friends for 15 minutes, I gave you 15 minutes of time. You better do what I do, otherwise I'll not spare you or don't talk to me. This is the dialogue we have. But Krishna is going on for 18 chapters without forcing. So Krishna is giving an option. If we feel it, if we have the Shraddha, we follow. If we don't have the Shraddha, there is no compulsion. But consequences, Krishna says, of attachments are actually sad. Attachments of consequence of attachments. You don't taste Ananda, no? Ananda's taste will never come unless you let go of this. But that is up to the individual. So yes, sir, Sureshji, I hope I answered the question, sir.
Yes.
You can take it is the choice of yours. You can choose what you feel is right.
Yeah. Today's teachings are more powerful, most powerful ones.
Sorry, sir.
Today's teachings are most powerful.
Are you? Okay,
Today's
I'm sorry.
teaching
There's
of
no.
yours is most powerful.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Fine, sir.
For
Hari Om,
me,
sir. All right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, grateful, sir. Hari Om.
because
So,
I'm
if somebody can summarize, yes.
I'm also I suffered brain stroke sometime 5
Ji,
years
sir.
back.
Okay, sir.
By the will of the God, I'm sitting before you and listening to you. That is
Ji, sir.
a great
No, sir.
miracle for me.
And it is a
Doctors
blessing
have
for us.
given up hope, and I'm surviving even today with all the pain and the suffering.
Ji, sir. Ji, sir. And it is our blessing that you are here, that we get a karma yoga. This is karma yoga, isn't it? We get a karma yogi in our, when we talk, we are talking about karma yoga. Here is somebody who's living that. It is really something for all of us also to learn. Thank you, sir. So anybody would like to summarize, if you can? Yes, please. Then we'll conclude with a Shanti mantra. Yes, please. Can somebody summarize? Every time in the start and in the end, it does hesitation is there. I would say, please, Chaitanya ji, thank you very much. But everybody, please don't feel any time that you have to give a perfect summary or it has to be like this. Sometimes what comes naturally, no, that only is beautiful. Yes, sir, Chaitanya ji, you were summarizing. I look forward always to your summaries. So please go on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually, I joined late today, so I can summarize from where I joined.
Yeah, that is also fine. Anybody
think-
wishes to add? If something Chaitanya ji has missed, you can always say this was also covered after he finishes. Yes, please. Yes, sir. Yes, ji.
Yeah, I think today when I joined, Shri Krishna was describing the 4 ways to, go ahead on the marg of bhakti. So first was, and also to unite with him. So I think first was to do sadhana and raise the consciousness and be one with him. If that seems difficult, then he said then you can always remember me, keep me in your mind, and keep your mind firm and focused on me. If that is also difficult, then he said that you can go ahead and do your works for me. I mean, to do them with perfection and do them for me. And the last one, I think, what he had said is that, you can actually, give up the fruits of your work, and that way also you will be free when doing that. And then you can, I mean, with the conscious effort, you can actually start focusing on me, and then slowly raise your consciousness. So he is actually giving you the options that, I mean, it is like a kind of same riddle that you're trying to solve, but maybe if you can try from this way or that way, so whichever way works best for you, which is a good starting point for you, you start doing that, and eventually I think by one or the other way you are going to get all of these things done, because even if the starting points are different, eventually you are going to arrive at the same destination. So I think that is what he was trying to help us with.
Okay, yeah, all right, Chaitanya. I think this is like he's just saying this is the path. This is the path. These are the paths you can choose. Like we have we enroll for various programs, isn't it? For coaching, this, that, this is the path you can choose what is connected with you. But what do we do when we enroll this? We always have some adarsha, isn't it? We say, ah, this person has got this percentile marks, or this person has got this particular rank, or this person in this institute did this, so I want to become like that. So now I have a question. Now Krishna is talking about bhakti, isn't it? Various ways of bhakti, how bhakti can, basically it is there inside. Due to some reasons, due to some experiences, bhakti is clogged. Like a fountain is blocked by different stones and pebbles. You remove that, again the dhara of bhakti starts flowing. But who is the greatest bhakta of Krishna? Anybody? Who is the greatest bhakta of Krishna? Aditi ji, you want to say something?
Yeah, Prahlad was called.
Acha, Prahlad. Aditi ji is saying, all right, Prahlad. Anybody else? Greatest bhakta of Krishna?
Sudama. Sudama.
Suresh ji? Whom
Sudama.
ji? Rama.
Sudama.
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 Sudama. Sudama. Yes, sir. Sudama. All right, Sudama. Anybody else?
Arjuna.
Okay, Arjuna. Okay, so the Suresh ji says Arjuna. Anybody wants to add? Okay, I think Prahlada, Sudama, Arjuna. Aditi ji, can we say Aditi ji as the greatest bhakta? No. Because in one class, when we asked who is the greatest bhakta in the children's batch, my sister told Avanti ji in her class, she said, one student very confidently, I am the greatest bhakta. How beautiful is that, isn't it? I mean, why not? Why not? Why should we, what we can say, why should we anytime think we are not? Why should it be somebody else? But then how is the greatest bhakta? What are the lakshanas? Who is the greatest bhakta? I think names are not so important, isn't it? Krishna also says it's like we're all one. We're all having different forms, different names. Outer identities keep changing. But what is the way, or how is this bhakta? Who is the best bhakta according to Krishna? How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he talk? How does he live? Well, that is something which is important, and that is what is going to come in the second part of this adhyay. Though it's a very small adhyay, it is actually having two very important parts. First is taking the steps. The second is the adarsha, whom we have to emulate. That also we can choose. There also Krishna gives so many examples of how a bhakta is. How is the bhakta? Because many people say, isn't it, I am the bhakta of this and this person. By saying, does one become? No, isn't it? I am the bhakta of Shiva. Somebody came and told me I am the greatest bhakta and servant. Where is the humility of Shiva and where is this? He is Bholenath. This person is most arrogant person I have seen. He is behaving in such a young boy. A young boy, he always wants to have debates with me. And then he says, now I have proven to you successfully that my God is better than your God. I said, okay, because he has assumed mine is Krishna, his is Shiva, Shiva greater than Krishna, X greater than Y. Some algebraic equation he has written. And he has tried to say that. And I said, Acha, but what about X equal to Y according to Gita, Radrudra Nam Shankarash Chasmi? He says, that and all, I have not read Gita, don't talk to me about Gita. And he ran away. So this aspect is different. But who is the Bhakta? What are the ways of the Bhakta? Again, this is also example for us to cultivate. Like these are the ways, no? Going into dhyana. Some people it comes naturally. For someone, it does not. Each path we have to choose. So here options are there. Now Krishna is going to give the examples. So thank you, Chaitanya ji, for that good summary. One more aspect which was covered was about the ways, forms and formless worship also. Krishna says that there is a formed worshipper, there is a formless worshipper. Again, when you are working for the betterment of the world, whichever your path is, it is going to come to me. But if one were to see, the formed marga is a little easier because you can relate. That's why Sanatan Dharma has so many roads where there are so many aradhyas, so many ishtas. The bhakta chooses the ishta devat. For me, this is my daivat. I will hold on to this daivat because you are going to, next sadhana will be taken care of by the Daivat only. And that is the marga. So with this, I conclude with the Shanti mantra, after which if anything else anybody wants to ask, you're welcome, or we'll conclude. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashit dukha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishna Mande Jagat Kuru. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna. Punarmilama. See you tomorrow.
I
Hari
have
Om.
a
Hari
question.
Om.
Hari Om.
Ji has a question. All right. Yes, ji. Hari Om.
Yeah, like you mentioned that we should remember divine in everything that we do. Then will it ensure that we'll always do the right thing, the right karma?
Insurance. So
Or
guarantee.
is, yes, and even if
Mam Phaleshu Kadachinam has been told about not guarantee nahi hai.
of our
Query
karma, there is no guarantee.
balance.
If the fruit, so if there is no guarantee that we'll do the right thing, even if we are connected to divine all the
No,
time.
no, no, no. You are asking for guarantee of return. मैंने ये एग्जाम लिखी तो यहाँ का ट्यूशन गई हूँ, यहाँ का एग्जाम दिया तो मुझे फुल मार्क आने चाहिए. ये गारंटी नहीं होता है.
But
You can, when you have the smaran, like what you are saying is, what will it ensure that the karma is right? If your connection, if there's no pretense in it, no, if it is sincere shraddha, if you are doing that work with sincere shraddha, you will be guided. You will get the experience. People have wanting to do wrong thing, also suddenly road changes. Krishna gives the direction when you are connected with the divine. Or if you just look at it simply in a simple action, like an artist doing artwork, remembering the divine at every time. And may not be that every time the artist will get the perfect picture also. But what will happen is the learning experience will be very conscious. Art will come, as I think Chaitanya ji said, or somebody said, experience remains with you. You will have a heightened, more greater experience, which will ultimately translate into wisdom, isn't it? To realization. Means if you see scientists do certain researches, is there a guarantee that the research will give a particular hypothesis as correct?
yeah,
No.
yeah.
But research will go ahead. Research will go ahead. You learn this. This kind of, I use this comparator, this particular trial was done. I think these are the factors that need to be changed, is what I have understood, to go ahead. So it is like you are doing consciously. Otherwise, people do research for degree also, isn't it? Degree milna hai, to I remember my friend, you used to use the word optimization. Copying the same research his senior did. He got his record. He just wrote the same thing. Everything was the same. Unfortunately, while copying, he did not have Shraddha in the subject at all. He didn't have Shraddha that the teachers will also spot. He felt they will not look at it. So what he did was he copied the same thing, but while one word he was using, he exactly referred the previous study only. And his entire thesis had to be rewritten because he did not do it consciously. So remembering the divine will, if you are looking for some insurance, only thing it will ensure is you'll become conscious. But when you are conscious, there is very less likelihood that you will do the mistakes that you will do when you are unconscious. So you'll probably raise your consciousness, your heightened awareness. And then there is something that people are ready when they are fully focused on the divine. No? Chalta hai, jo bhi hoga. I'm ready for the outcomes. Worst outcome also is the best outcome for me, because I know the divine is, I am not having a barter arrangement with the divine. I will do a prayer to you. You give me this result. Aspiration should be there. As a student, you must aspire for the best. You must aspire to become, but while that aspiration is there, aspiration, right? Sarva Bhuta Hite Ratah, betterment of the world, Loka Sangraha. Have you heard of the Chamakam anytime, Aditi ji? There's a mantra called Chamakam. Huh? No. Right. So it is like Rudram. Have you heard of Rudram, Shri Rudram? Okay, these are two different mantras which are very commonly uttered in Shiva temples. But the Chamakam is all about Shanchame, Maheshchame, Priyanchame. It sounds like a rap song, but it's not. But it has so many. This, I want this Sudinam Chame, Susha Chame, Abhayam Chame. Everywhere I want fearlessness, I want support, I want this. So this aspiration is there, and this is with the full adhikar the bhakta is able to ask, because he's conscious that the divine can give. But what am I using it? Am I serving my own personal interests, or it is for the divine's wish? It ends with the divine's wish. Let the divine's wish be fulfilled. Let the divine's wish be fulfilled. That bhava. So if we see, because many times when we focus on results, when we focus on outcomes, we are not able to fully look at things. Greater picture is not visible. Only a myopic view of my results, which is favorable to me, is visible. That is why we need to move out of it. But you do a right work. People do things with mechanical precision also, isn't it? They do it because every time surgeon does so many surgeries that afterwards he doesn't have to, even because he's become siddha. Something like that, it happens. So the works will gravitate towards perfection. What you're talking about, ensuring, but let that happen. Let us not do it because there is an insurance. There is an insurance that it will happen. Let us do because we want to do it the best that we can. Arrow being fired by an Olympic athlete, he must have fired how many arrows before the competition also. But while he's focusing on that, he is not focusing at, I have to hit the, even if he has to hit the bullseye because somebody else has hit it before him, he has to reach that target. He doesn't focus on, oh no, this person has done it, now I have to do, ensure I cannot afford to lose. All these thoughts are not there. He becomes one with that. He becomes one with the wind. He becomes one with his bow. He becomes one with the arrow. He feels its touch and he lets the body take over. Shariram kevalam karma, like what is said in the Gita shloka. Means it happens like in an autopilot mode. And then when it releases, he might actually be winning it also. Because the work is done perfectly, the outcome is going to be perfect only, isn't it? That is something, but we don't have to focus on it. If our focus goes there, we'll try to tweak things to ensure that happens. And in that tweaking, we end up spoiling it.
So, so if the outcome is good, so we can attribute that to divine.
Yeah, we can
The
attribute.
outcome is bad if we end up
Attribute it to the divine.
hurting
क्या
anybody.
फालतू काम किया है भगवान तूने, मैंने तो इतने सिंसियरली काम किया था, तुझे इतना भी नहीं आया, ठीक से चलता है, ठीक है, अगली बार अच्छा करना. My side of the efforts I'm going to ensure. Attribute good and bad to the divine. It's all right. It's all right, absolutely. And it's divine wish. If you see, late Sushma Swaraj had talked about very nicely one simple aspect of the Gita only. She said, when something happens according to my wish, she says, I accept it happily as Krishna Prasad, Prasad from Shri Krishna. When something happens against my wish, I accept it happily as Krishna Ichha.
Even if that affects any other person negatively.
Why will it affect I will only be negatively affected because of my attachment. No, मेरे इच्छा के अनुसार हुआ नहीं, isn't it? But divine's wish may be higher. We do not know. We do not know exactly. Today, one friend stopped talking to me. Turned out to be the biggest blessing of my life. That will be known only afterwards, isn't it? When the Kala comes. So some things we have to, some questions may not be answered immediately. But the way you move ahead is important. All right? Okay. Hari Om. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna. We'll conclude.
Hari Om, Bhaiya.
Namaste ji. Namaskar.